Mr. Soli Dastu and friends. I'm grateful for all the nice things which people have said about me. I'm also grateful to Mr. Bhatt for being honest, both at the time when I was to take oath and also today when I'm relinquishing office. In fact, I have a friend who retired a couple of years ago from insurance as a divisional manager. And he had come to meet me a few days ago, and I was telling him that I'll be having a send-off. My bar associations would be giving a farewell party, and I'll be attending that. So he says, why are you doing that? And he told me that when he was retiring, his colleagues wanted to hold a farewell for him, and he refused because he said that at the farewell they will all tell you that you worked so hard, you were a man of great industry, and then you would realize that this is all that I had to do which I have not done. So never accept such a farewell party. But I thought to myself that there are people like Mr. Bhatt who will bring me back to the ground, even if others will speak things about me which would elevate me. And I would like to believe they are true, even if I know that I would have to take them with a palmful of salt, but nevertheless I would like to believe they are true and like to proceed on the basis that they are men of great understanding who understand what qualities I have, what I possess. So I am grateful for all the good things which have been said. The only thing which I would like to share with you on my retirement is two things. One is that when I took oath as a judge, one of the things which caused me great anxiety was that in my decision-making process, I should be extremely fair. I should not let the persona of the person affect me in deciding a matter. I should hear everybody equally. And that was something which I always was very anxious about, whether I was able to do that or not. I tried to do that to the best of my ability. I tried to keep personas aside, personalities aside, looked at the matter and tried to decide. And tried to treat everybody, whether it be the senior most advocate who's appearing before me or the fresh advocate who's appearing for the first time, with the same yardstick. That was my attempt. I don't know how far successful I was, but that was the anxiety which I had. And I think from what people have told me when I was exchanging notes with them, I think I've not done very badly on that account. I'd like to feel I've not done very badly on that account. The other two things which there's nothing much to be said on your retirement. Whatever you had to say, you have already said from the bench. People, some liked it, some did not like it, but that's a part of the job. I would like to say one, thank you, and two, sorry. Thank you for this reason that a judge never works in a vacuum. It is the industry, the learning and the wisdom of the lawyers which contributes to a large extent to enable a judgment to be rendered which could be called justice, but at least a judgment one is able to render because of the assistance of the lawyers. Mr. Lodha has said some nice poetry. I used a small Hindi poem, or rather couplet, which goes like this, and that applies very appropriately to our profession. Namely, मैं ही मैं हूँ तो क्या मैं हूँ, तुम ही तुम हो तो क्या तुम हो, तुम और मैं मिले और हम बने तो फिर judgment प्रदान हो. So it is only the combination of the lawyers and the judges which makes judgments possible. So a big thank you. Whatever I was able to do, good, bad, indifferent, you all have had a great role to play in it. So next time you criticize the judgment, please bear in mind that you all also had a part to play. So far as the other aspect is concerned, my apologies. You see, there were times when I may have been unfair to some litigants, some advocates. I may not have heard them properly. I always believe that a judge's job is to hear the lawyer, give him all the patience hearing which a lawyer deserves. Because the lawyer is putting forth the case of his client, and the judge's job is to hear the client, hear the lawyer patiently and understand his case and then decide. But yet there have been times where I have committed mistakes. There are times when the sheer numbers put so much pressure on you that you want to get going fast, and at times I have curtailed a lawyer, stopped the lawyer from making his point, and in that process I may have lost some possible gems which may have come. And I am extremely sorry if I have done that. It was not my intent and it was a mistake on my part. Last thing which I would like to share with you all is that now that I am a certified senior citizen, retired man, I can advise the youngsters at the bar. You see, at the bar, the tax bar, I was taken from the excise customs bar, not because I was the most exceptional, the outstanding, but because the better ones refused to accept judgeship. Now, if that is the sort of situation which happens, even today, we don't have lawyers from the bar, from the tax bars ready to accept judgeship. And that leaves a big vacuum in the judicial body, in the judicial institution, in the sense that you don't have people who are competent to deal with tax matters, then everything suffers and it has its own impact over a period of time. And I can tell you, after having been a judge for 8 years, it is one of the most enjoyable jobs which a person can have in his life. It is a job where you are the umpire, but every day is a learning experience. When one party argues, you feel completely convinced with what he says. You wonder what the other side will have to say, and yet the other side is able to show something which you have completely missed. And it's such a wonderful experience. Every evening you come back wiser than what you were in the morning. It's a wonderful experience. And these days, in the old days, of course, the pay emoluments were not really good, and one could possibly not blame a person if he would not accept a judgeship. But today, the wages which a judge gets are reasonably good. You can live a decent life. You may not. A higher middle class life could be easily led by a judge without making any compromises. So there is no reason for why the younger members of the bar should not aspire to judgeship, and the senior members who are offered should not refuse judgeship. They must accept judgeship, because that's a responsibility which they also owe to the institution. Because as lawyers and judges, we all together form the institution of judiciary, and if the lawyers are not ready to take up this responsibility, then the institution will suffer. And when the institution suffers, the lawyers also would not then have place to go to make their grievances addressed. This is all I can say, and I thank you again. A big thank you for coming here on a Friday evening and spending time with me. Two things I did. One, I did not get my wife along with me, because I was not sure what people would say about me today. I had not got her on the first day, but then on retrospect, I should have got her when you all invited me the first time, when you asked me, when you felicited me at becoming a judge, because at that time, most of you all would have spoken nice things about me except Mr. Bhatt, but then I could have explained to her by saying that is his idiosyncrasies, don't go by him, go by the majority view about me. But so I saw to it that she doesn't come. Number two, I requested the members who had come, who had organized this function, and just ensure that there is no liquor, because I didn't want people telling me the truth and then attributing it to the liquor they have had. So these are the two things. So some of you who miss liquor would please appreciate that it is for greater cause that you are missing liquor. Thank you very much.